Hey there, so for today's video lesson what we're going to do is just do a brief overview of some of the introduction to guitar things. So first of all, we're just going to talk about parts of the guitar and the the names that we're going to call everything, just so we have an understanding of how that works. So when we want to think of the guitar, I like to start it off by thinking of it like a body or like a human. So at the top of the human we have the head. What attaches the head to everything else is the neck. And then we have the body. So we have the head, the neck, and the body, the three main parts of the guitar. When we take a look at the head, that's where the similarities to the human are going to disappear, because these are not ears, these little metal pieces here. What these are called is they're called tuners. So if we see that each string that we have on the guitar, which is 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, corresponds to one of the tuners. So we should have 6 tuners on our guitar. Some guitars have straight heads that all 6 go on, or like this guitar where I have kind of like 3 on each side, and each string goes to a different tuning peg. So when I look at the neck of the guitar, the front of it we usually call the fretboard, or if you play another instrument like the violin or something, we call it a fingerboard. Sometimes you'll hear that with guitar as well. The fretboard is divided up by these little metal pieces in here into these little tiny box-looking things, and what we're going to do is call those the frets. Okay? So we're going to give numbers to the frets as well. The numbers are going to start from the headstock going towards the body. So we see this first little box here, that's going to be our first fret. Second fret, third fret, fourth fret, etc. So you can count how many frets you have on your guitar if you want to pause the video and just do that right now. Most guitars are going to have somewhere in the range of 18 to 22. You can have guitars that have more than that, and some guitars have less. If you play an acoustic guitar that doesn't have a cutaway like this, it's cut in, then you probably have only access to maybe 14 frets or something. Great, so we're gonna continue to move on. On the body of the guitar, there's not much that we're gonna talk about, except we're gonna call this thing back here the bridge, and that's where the strings are gonna be kind of like coming from. Other than that, let's keep moving on. What we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about our 6 open strings on the guitar, and what we're gonna do is give a number value and names to each of the strings, or note names to each strings. So I like to use the sentence Eddie ate dynamite, good, bye, Eddie. So with those, we're going to take that sentence and we're going to use it to remember the notes on our open strings here. So we have Eddie, so E, ate, so A, dynamite, D, G for good, B for bye, E is for Eddie, E, A, D, G, B, okay? So I would pause the video if you have a second and just try to test yourself. Okay, I'm going to play the G string, or I'm going to play the B string, or I'm going to play the E string. Which one? There's 2 of them. So going on with that, the tricky thing about guitar sometimes is that some things are also talked about backwards. So when we give string numbers to these, we actually number them from the highest sounding strings, the string closest to your leg if you're sitting down, or closest to the ground. That's our first string, second string, third string, fourth string, fifth string, and finally our 6th string. So if there's an acronym or whatever you want to come up with to remember it this way, that's totally no problem. But a lot of people you'll hear use Eddie ate dynamite, goodbye Eddie, and using the string numbers are going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Lovely. So we've talked about string numbers, we've talked about fret numbers, and now what we're going to talk about is finger numbers. So we're going to talk about our fretting hand. If you are left-handed, everything that I'm saying is going to be opposite, but I'm going to be mostly dealing with right-handed, because most people play guitar right-handed. So with our fretting hand, or the hand that's going to go on the back, or put your fingers down on the frets, we're going to give finger numbers to those. Our index finger, our pointer finger, is going to be our first finger. The middle finger is going to be our second finger. The third, our ring finger, or the closest to the pinky, that's going to be our third finger. And our pinky is going to be the 4th finger. Generally, when we're playing the guitar, we're not going to use the thumb very much. So what's going to happen is that when we're playing, we're going to put our hand underneath the guitar, or our fingers are going to come from underneath the guitar, and our thumb is going to sit on the back here. We like to think of holding the back of the guitar kind of like holding an apple. So we're holding it like this, not like this, not really tense and stuff. So nice and relaxed. And when we're playing, we want to have our fingers go down on the frets, kind of more using the tips of the finger, and we're going to try to get close to the metal pieces, as close as we can, because we're going to find it quite a bit easier to get a really nice sounding note there. So now we're going to go and look over at our right hand here quickly, our picking hand, and how to hold the pick. Everybody kind of has some different ideas on how they should hold the pick or how they feel comfortable holding the pick, so it's a little bit subjective and it's a little bit up to yourself, but I'm going to go over kind of like what I do. So as a general rule, we're going to hold our pick with just our two fingers, our index finger and our thumb, and we're going to kind of like put the pick on like kind of like the side of our index finger, take our thumb, wrap it around, and you're going to kind of turn your finger in. So I'm still using the side of my finger here a little bit, and I want the pointed part of the pick facing towards the guitar, so if you can see it like that. Pretty good. So as a great warm-up, what we can do, and I'm going to leave you off with this for this lesson, and we can pick it up next time. What we can do is I recommend starting with, start with just playing any notes and making sure that notes just feel comfortable, and try to use all of our fingers. So here's an exercise that I like to do, and I get most of my students to do it. We're going to start off on our low 6th string, or our E string if we remember that, and we're going to play it open with no fingers down. We're not using anything here, and no frets are being used yet. Now what I'm going to do is put my hand where it should belong. Our thumb should be right behind the guitar on the back of the neck, and you go 1st fret. And you're going to get close to that metal piece. I'm not on the metal piece. I know it's hard to see that in this video, but not on the metal piece, just close to it. And then we're going to go 2nd finger on the 2nd fret. We can take that 1st finger right off and just let our hand adjust. 3rd finger is going to go on the 3rd fret, and our pinky, our 4th finger, is going to go on the 4th fret. So we can do that on all of our strings, and all I'm doing is picking each string individually. What we're working on is coordination and just and getting a nice sounding note. So we can do that on all the strings. So when you get to the 2nd string or the 1st string for example, you play open, 1st fret, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 4th fret. So that'll keep you busy for the next little while here. So have a great week. We'll see you next week.